Hello and welcome back to another Walking Dead video, and today I want to look back at The Walking Dead from season 1 to 11 and talk about who I think is the most underrated character in each season of The Walking Dead. So let's jump right into this with season 1, and definitely it has to be T-Dog. He has a very interesting dynamic in episode 2 with Merle, but outside of that he's just there a lot of the time. He's a very interesting character, he's a very likeable character, but the season just doesn't utilise him, and that's because it's only 6 episodes. Season 2 is T-Dog again. He is another case of he is there a lot of the time. They give us some interesting things at the start. He's just there talking to a lot of characters, but otherwise he is really a nothing character, which really does suck, as T-Dog is one of those quiet fan favourites of the early seasons. Season 3 is Carol, and it's solely because of how drastically her change is from season 1 to season 3. She is almost a completely different character. She's a more confident person, and it's not her season 4, season 5 Carol Rambo, but she's in the middle. It's a very interesting storyline with her, and there are a lot of characters that shine out, which outshine Carol, like Rick and Daryl, and you have characters like Glenn, Maggie, and Herschel, which all outshine her, but Carol herself in season 3 is a solid character, and we almost never got her because she was originally going to die in this season. And season 4 is Tyrese, and he definitely goes through one of the best storylines in season 4. He has that thing in the prison with Rick and then Buttonheads, but then he also has he's now on the road with his girlfriend's killer. He goes through a lot of development in only a few short episodes, because Tyrese isn't really in a lot of episodes of season 4, especially in the back half where he's only in maybe 1-2 episodes, but in the front half he is this man just after losing his girlfriend. He's dealing with this rage. He is a great character, especially pairing him with Carol is absolutely amazing. You have this skinny small woman who is this absolute beast, and you have this big burly man who's just a gentle giant. He is a very great kind of opposite to Carol, and he definitely deserves to be mentioned on a very underrated character for season 4. Season 5 is Aaron. I really like Aaron. He has a really great introduction. I really like how all the characters are very wary of Aaron in the first few episodes, but he is the character which brings them to Alexandria. He is a very well written character, and especially at the start in season 5 they pair him with Daryl, and the show kind of forgets about it, but they work really well together. He is a really great and optimistic character. I really like him. Season 5 has a lot of characters which are outstanding, so I couldn't really pick any of the major group because they're all absolutely phenomenal and you'll get a lot of praise. However, Aaron, this is his introduction season, and he is a solid character in the back half of season 5, and when a lot of people talk about Aaron, they talk about later Aaron, but Aaron in season 5 definitely deserves a mention. Now, season 6 has to go to Morgan. A lot of people really don't like Morgan, but me, I'm a massive Morgan fan, and having Morgan now be this very peaceful character, and then also pairing him with Carol a lot of the time, who is almost the complete opposite to him, is really great. Season 6 is a phenomenal season, and I think Morgan gets overshone quite a lot because you have so many other characters in this season which are absolutely phenomenal. Morgan's one of the only characters to oppose Rick in many situations, and I definitely think that season 6 Morgan in The Walking Dead is the best version of Morgan. Fear might eventually trump this version of Morgan, but I definitely think Morgan season 6 was peak Morgan, so I definitely have to mention him as an underrated character. Season 7 is obviously going to be Dwight. He definitely does a lot of the heavy lifting in season 7 when everyone's being very miserable. Dwight is making sure that March to War is going on. We get to see how Dwight's relationship with the Saviors breaks down and his eventual twist to Rick's side. Dwight just has a really great character arc in season 7, and sadly it's just overshone quite a lot on the Savior side by characters like Negan and Simon, so a lot of people don't really talk about Dwight and season 7. Now, season 8 for me, even though he's in only a handful of episodes, I would have to give Gavin for one reason, and I just really like how Gavin shows that not all the Saviors are evil. I just really like Gavin just because he adds more depth to the Saviors and shows they are not just this massive just group of villains. There are some people which are grey, some people which are maybe good in this group, and sadly they're just on the other side of the war to our protagonists. So I feel like I have to mention Gavin either for season 7 or season 8, and it's the same with Dwight. He could easily be season 8, so season 7, season 8, they're very interchangeable. It's either Dwight or Gavin. Now, season 9 is going to be Henry. A lot of people hate Henry, but me personally, I really like Henry, and I definitely think maybe it's because when The Walking Dead Season 9 came out, I was a similar age to Henry, and that definitely helped me to identify with the character, and I grew to really like him very quickly. I really liked how they adapted the Carl storyline without Carl. They were like, okay, Henry is just not a replacement Carl, he's a character which has a similar storyline, but he goes about it differently. And I definitely do really like his parents in this season. Obviously, he has a great relationship with Carol and Ezekiel, but his parent with Daryl is really interesting. I just really like Henry, and his death really feels well earned and so well done, and it's just a shame a lot of people really don't like him. So I feel like he's obviously an underrated character for me, and this is a biased list because it's my personal opinion. So obviously I'm going to have to put Henry for season 9. Now season 10 is obviously Sadiq. He is only in 7 episodes, in the first 7 episodes, but his little storyline and him dealing with PTSD, absolutely amazing. He is just massively outshined by obviously Alpha, Beta, Daryl, and Negan, and sometimes Carol. And when people talk about season 10 great characters, they think about them. But Sadiq, absolutely phenomenal. He has this survivor's guilt, and his death is absolutely tragic, so I have to mention him. And now season 11, this is really hard, but I'm going to have to say Judith. And the whole reason I'm giving this to Judith is because I feel like in season 11, the actor, Kaylee Fleming, kind of got to an age where they were like, let's give her more meaty roles. And I definitely think Judith is very fleshed out season 11, and she has actually some emotional scenes with Daryl. And especially in the back half of season 11, they give Judith more to do, and there's some great Easter eggs of Judith, like with Judith shooting Sebastian, so Grimes kills a Milton, and then her being shot by another Milton. They do some very interesting things with Judith, and I really enjoy her in this season, and the whole reason I'm putting above all these other characters other than the big main group is I feel like season 11 lacks and completely just does nothing with most of the cast, so I can't really mention a lot of them, and the ones I can mention, they all get all the praise they deserve, so it really only leaves Judith, in my opinion, for my pick of underrated character in season 11, and that is just my opinion, so please tell me down below, what are your underrated characters from each season? I'll just know all your thoughts down in the comments, but this is it for me today, so thank you for listening, and I'll talk to you later.